Westo and Lincoln, or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs, or get down with some dumbbells and strength equipment. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month. It's glow time. See club for details.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-9462. Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us this Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. at Double Eagle Golf in the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street for a Ryder Cup watch party and preview of Nebraska, Michigan. Book your bay to hit shots while enjoying the show and enjoy USA-themed drink specials. Book today at doubleeagle.golf. We'll see you on Friday.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, starting the work week off with mostly sunny skies, or an afternoon high around 81. Tonight we'll see mostly clear skies and a low around 55. And tomorrow, more of the same, more sunshine. Temps a little cooler tomorrow. We'll see the high around 78. Meteorologist Kyle Fucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it on a Monday. Back in the saddle again. I'm Austin Norman, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, the 9-year NBA vet, Mr. Eric Strickland. Stricky, I saw you on Saturday. How was the rest of your Saturday? How's your Sunday? How you doing?
Saturday was it was a day of watching a lot of games. I did get outside and, hung out with Rock a little bit, hung out with Rashawn a little bit, just, sat around, talked and chopped it up and watched some garbage games and watched some good ones.
Plenty of both.
Watched my record go in the drain because of it. Yeah.
It's 1 week. You can shake it off.
Gotta
Always
shake
next
it off
week.
and bounce back, baby. That's the way it's got to be. I mean, that's kind of the way you got to feel about, I think that it's very possible that Cluster and I on WTF tomorrow may get into it, but it's, there's a song out that's called It's a Thin Line Between Love and Hate, right?
I get you.
There's a song out, and I think that's what's going on right now with Colorado. It's a thin line of
their perception of how people react to them, or of the football team?
I think how people react to them, or are against them, or for them, or whatever the case may be. And the sad part about that, see, again, it works for good and it works for bad. It's very similar to the way they view, the 45th president, Donald Trump, right? Love-hate relationships. And they happen all the time. People, you can go to a team. Kyrie gets it a lot. You know what I'm saying? You can go to a team and they'll love you, and then next thing you know, they hate you. And so that dynamic has existed for, Dion for a lot of years. I mean, this doesn't just happen when he showed up and he was an Atlanta Falcon. It doesn't happen when he was in a Brave. It's not just happening when he was a Cowboy or San Francisco 49er. It happened before that. I think it all started when he was a young man in Florida State. There was a lot of love-hate. And this, I'm not even going to just talk about, and I don't think we're going to get into just the fact that it's Colorado, but we want to have the debate because it happens in our, and I hate that people try to put it in a racial connotation. I can't, that irks me to the core because I don't, it doesn't have that, mire to it. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't have to, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't, and I don't believe that's it. I just think that when there's somebody different, to the person that's different or to those who have been different or had to walk that path, those individuals experience that type of in different levels. When you're in the limelight, and that was it for me. I had to deal with it not just because of my athletic prowess, but because I had to deal with it because I went to Bellevue West. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So those in the hood, in the black sectors, they're like, I mean, he moved. It's Andre Woolridge. I mean, because the perception is a certain way. And when you're different, and that's all people are talking about, baseball, football. And it's not until after the fact that you realize the beauty of the moment, right? Whatever the level is, whoever the person is, your boy Mikey, the high school.
Oh, Mikey Williams?
He gets it a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And those that jump into the mud, like Ja Morant, that hurts my heart. You know what I mean? I don't know if you can understand what I'm trying to get to, but it's the dealing with the difference. Whenever someone looks different to you, whenever someone comes off a certain way to you, there's always a way of us to take that in a negative connotation instead of
that's always the gut reaction.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And so you said something because I was talking about my record, and this is why it came to my mind. You talked about the bounce back. The bounce back to me in any spectrum of sports, to include Nebraska, to include any type of team that has experienced success, and then all of a sudden they get smacked in the face. Mike Tyson, stuff like that. And people hated Mike Tyson. Some loved him. Some. So you understand where I'm going. And it was because he was different. He wasn't well spoken. He was very brash. He was very bold. Then he was serious because everybody loved Evander Holyfield. He was well loved. Everybody hated Muhammad Ali. Why? Because he was different. He wasn't typical. And I think that's what, I think that's something that we have to come to the realization of in our hearts and minds at some point, that it's okay. And I think this is where we struggle. I don't know, man. I'm sorry I jumped into this tangent, but I think this is why we struggle in politics. I think this is why we struggle across the board, all the way around. I mean, there's things that need to be handled, things that need to be done, but sometimes we can't get there because we see you differently.
And so many times we operate on that first reaction, and that first reaction is instantaneous, right? The first impression, that's just what human nature is telling us to run with. This is how it is right away. I don't need to wait a second. I don't need to study anymore. I don't need to ask any questions. This is what I see. This is what I hear. This is how I perceive it. This is automatically reality. Where I think a lot of those situations, Strick, you have to balance that first impression with the ability to step back mentally, sometimes physically, and think through it a little bit. It's hard. It's hard work to do, to put in the legwork, to ask those questions, to truly be curious and get to know not just the what, but also the who, the perspective, the context that informs that. But in a situation like all those that you're mentioning, like it's fun in sports. right? Because we get to do it in the guise of competition, right? That's the backdrop behind it all. But it's still people behind it. There's still people that we're talking about, that we're studying, we're watching, we're examining. So being able to take that step back, yes, go through the fight, go through the game, go through the messaging, the press conference. That's important.
Right.
It's a skill. You have to be able to do that. But the best way to do that is to work from a place of trying your best to understand the person that is doing the action, saying the word.
Exactly. And some people say this. Some people say, like, you haven't heard Dion go at another coach. I haven't. I mean, if you can show me, you haven't seen that, but you've seen others come for him. Okay, no problem. That's part of the game. But understand, I want people to understand this dynamic. Is there are times when you're mentally broken, when you've been beat down, you have to rebuild. Think of like Ryan Garcia, when everybody's pumped you up, talked you up. You're the next coming of Oscar De La Hoya or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then you get in the ring and you get beat up. Or you're, Bud, who did that to Errol Spence, right? Think of how you have to rebuild yourself back up. So this is why I say this for the Colorado situation. They were 1-11. No one expected them to go undefeated. They've already surpassed anything any expectations that you could have had for them. Yes, they got their butt beat, right? But you got to think about someone who's gotten beat up all these years, the mentality. So when you step in the ring, you step on the field, you step on the court, wherever it is, after you've taken a beating, you have to overcome the mental part of it. That's all I see as an athlete. I've seen him doing. He's trying to change a mental, and sometimes the only way to do that is to be brazen the other way. Over super confident that even though you may have some skeptics, you don't ever let anybody know it. Same thing, you don't ever let anybody see you sweat. So sometimes you got to go over and above, because you've got to get whoever's in that room, whoever's in that trenches. It would be no different than a SEAL team stuck behind enemy lines. The LZ is 100 clicks, and you've got to get there through enemy territory. It looks bleak. It looks like I can possibly, we don't look like we're going to make it. We don't have road. We're low on ammo. We don't have
Don't know
food.
the terrain.
We don't know
where
the
they're
terrain.
at.
We've got to go by maps. Hopefully the intelligence is good. And we don't know where they're at. We don't have eyes because they can't get there to give me enough eyes. And so I have to do this blindly. So guess what the leader of that bunch has to do? The leader of that SEAL team has to say to them, we're going to make it.
We have to make it.
We're going to get there. We're going to stick together. This is the plan. This is how we do it. And he overcompensates them knowing that they might not make it. You understand? So that's what I'm saying about what I'm seeing with this, this whole situation.
It's fascinating too, when you look at that perspective from inside the locker room, Dion being a leader of men. His messaging, he must have the pulse of his locker room and what they need, and that's commendable. Ashley on the text line is talking about the fans and their reaction to it, right? I don't care what goes on in Colorado's locker room. That's Dion's business. That is his domain. That's where he's the leader, right? It sounds like, again, Ashley on the text line, some other people have a problem with how the fans are taking it. They're the people that hate Dion because he's different, like you were saying. They're the people that love him. He's getting them to watch college football for the first time. But I wonder how many Nebraska fans, Strick, don't like they could care less about Dion. They don't care who's in charge of Colorado. They want him to lose because it's Colorado. But also the fans, right? Like, Colorado hasn't won much of substance, created that rivalry back in the 90s. And now that they're up, Strick, I feel like there's a lot of Nebraska fans and maybe even some other, Big 8 rivals that think Colorado's fans are going too far, too fast with it.
I agree.
And I'm of two minds of that.
Yeah.
There's definitely an aspect of it. Colorado fans have that nasty reputation of, the warm water bottles being thrown, the bricks, the batteries, all of that, of being rude to other fans traveling there. They have that reputation. At the same time, what else do they have to hang their hat on, right? They finally have some success. They're finally the talk of college football. It is all about them. Have they gone overboard? Yes, some of them have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But at the same time, who are we to begrudge them success? They finally have it. Do you want everyone poo-pooing Nebraska's success when they get back there? There's always going to be haters. There's always going to be detractors. So yes, you want Colorado fans to find that line where they can be excited that the team's winning, that they're the talk, while still having that aspect of humility behind it.
Yeah, and I think that also has to come from the top. I think that also has to come from inside the locker room. I think that has to, in some form, come from Deion too. You know what I mean? Because you're going to want to clean that up. Because that's one thing that even in Nebraska's greatest of days, that's one thing you could not say about Nebraska fans. Even in dominating fashion, they still would clap you out. They still would cheer you on. Great job. And people that came in Memorial Stadium or even in Devaney or PBA, they would say, man, just some of the nicest fans, some of the nicest people. And you get that sometimes, and then there's some nasty places that you can go. It's unfortunate, but I think that I would behoove them that you don't want to be a nasty bunch. You know what I mean?
And if you're going to be cocky, you run the risk of losing and getting it thrown back in your face.
See, there's a difference.
But cocky is
between
normal.
Cocky and confidence.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You can have a form of arrogance because it's healthy. It's healthy. It's healthy to believe in yourself, your product, you know, if you don't.
Well, that's how you survive.
That's how you make it.
You made a decade.
Yeah, that's how you make it. That's how you make it. And so for me, I'm like, people, if they looked at me when I played, they would say he's cocky. No, I just felt I was going to beat you.
But
you know what I'm saying? I just felt that there's nothing you can do with me and that's it. And there's been a lot of stuff that was said in stadiums and all of that. And there's nothing greater than to shut that up. You know what I mean? So I don't think, I think college football, sports in itself, I think there's a fine line of it. I think that it's been fun to watch, and it's not even going to stop. It's even going to get worse next week when, you know, USC comes into town.
Oh boy.
It's even going to be worse. But I will say that watch how they accept it. You know what I mean? Because I don't see them losing the swag. Because they have to believe that regardless, that a 5-win season, a 6, that's success. You can call success. Now we're gonna get into the talk about the Pac-12 because good gosh,
I think that's a good spot to have this final point, and then we'll jump into the rest of the conference. You mentioned some of that humility coming from the top, from Deion. What did he do after Oregon just, you know, skinned their hide, sold it at Trading Post? He said, "Yeah, we just got our butt beat, plain and simple." And that was that. No excuses. Oh, these players suck. I'm going to turn over the roster again. Not, well, what was my offensive coordinator doing? Not, well, send my DC back to, you know, some backyard just to sit and drink Mai Tais or whatever. It was, we got our butt beat, plain and simple. Let's move on. They've got another big one, right? That's humility, right?
Yeah.
Not making excuses, not trying to cover for anything. Deion's been around the game long enough that he can move on from it. And he that's the message he sent. Okay, next.
Well, I mean, he tells a good story, and then we're gonna get out of here. But he tells a good story of when he was a freshman at Florida State. They were playing Auburn, and there was a man by the name of Bo Jackson.
Heard of that guy before.
Bo Jackson takes a sweep around the end. He has 4.2 speed. He breaks the line. He's on his way. Deion, left cornerback, tracks him down with the same type of speed, gets there, and humility smacks him in the face. Bo Jackson hits him with one of the hardest stiff arms that there is, puts him back to the ground, and still scores. That's humility. But did it stop him from becoming still who he was?
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's the bounce back. You can be humbled. You can be knocked out. You can be knocked down. It's not what happens in that moment. It's how you get back up. Those are the stories I like to see. How do you change or make adjustments? The adjustments are not going to happen in the record for that team. It's not going to happen this year.
No.
It is what it is. Nebraska, we have a bar that said that we believe with the talent of the team, they should be there, right? So anything less than that is trouble. But that's the thing you want to see, what adjustments are going to be made. I think the adjustments are off-season for that team. I think the adjustments for us is still off-season, but it's identification and finding the right pieces. I think we lack in the skill positions. I think we hurt in the trenches. I think the defense is solid. We have a solid enough defense at Nebraska that I think we can win a lot of games. I just think that the offense needs to step that up, and that's what you're going to have to do in the offseason. Both programs are in a state of humility, but both need to make the adjustments and probably in the offseason.
Few quick things to wrap up. Bo Lever on the text line. Dion couldn't say much. He blew that horn way too long. He couldn't say much, and he didn't say much. A lack of humility would have been continuing the yap. He didn't. He took it. He's moving on. You don't have to like all his methods, but he did the right thing there.
Yeah.
We're jumping into the rest of the Pac-12 next. The 3 of the 4 teams that are coming over to the Big Ten next year look dangerous.
Scary.
In all sorts of ways. Oregon, we talked a little bit about. Washington and USC. You had a great top 20-ish matchup between Washington State and Oregon State. UCLA and Utah played a fun one. The Pac-12 is entertaining in its last year of existence. We're going to get into that. Speaking of love-hate relationships, you'll have one of those with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. You'll love it. You'll love being there. You'll love the atmosphere. You'll hate ever having to eat anything else and having to leave. That's your love-hate relationship with Mary Ellen's.
Shout out.
They're not open today. They're not open tomorrow, Wednesday through Sunday, though. Get yourself down there. Check out their lunch buffet. They sponsor our show. Really appreciate that. More college football chatter here. Hour 1 of On the Block. Eric Strickland, Austin Norman, back in a couple minutes.
Warning, this ad will use the F word often, so listen at your own risk. Family fun, fun with friends, freedom from fuel, free Yeti cooler, free driveway delivery. Hey, this is Carl from Nebraska Golf Carts and Priced Right Auto, and we have the all-electric Bentelli Fun Carts, and they are a blast. Plenty of fun colors, and these street-legal carts come in both 4 and 6 passenger. Tell us you heard us on the ticket and get a free Yeti cooler with your purchase. Hurry, supply is limited. Check them out at 1235 West O in Lincoln or NebraskaGolfCarts.com.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
This is Jay Foreman here. Join me and DP for Old School live from Husker Bank at 83rd and O Street this Friday for their customer appreciation tailgate party from 4 to 6 p.m. Larry the Cable Guy will join us during the show, and there's free food and refreshments. That's this Friday from 4 to 6 at Husker Bank, 83rd and O Street.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs, or get down with some dumbbells and strength equipment. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month. It's glow time. See Club for details.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hot tub season is here, and to celebrate, Bonzal Pool & Spa is having a sale so good that they're offering it up for the whole month. Soak up the savings when you purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now through the end of September. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today and soak up the savings at Bonzal Pool & Spa, 33rd and Highway 2, or at bonzalpool.com.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any backyard landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Again, Ticket Off Air is probably some of the best content we have. Good stuff from Strick in the first segment. We're going to talk about the Pac-12 here on the Block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you here. Might get the pop figure. There we go. Found it. All right, Strick. We talked a little bit about Colorado. Oregon, real or not real?
I think out of the Pac-12, Oregon, I think the only team really that can give Oregon trouble is probably Utah.
Okay.
I think Oregon, though, is probably – I need to look at Washington a little bit more. They seem very scary, just operating like a stealth bomber off the radar. Like, you know there's a blip there, but you just don't know where the heck they are. And they just continuously trudging along, right? But I want to say Oregon to me is like 1. Then you've got Utah and Washington, 1A and 1, or probably 2A and 2B. And then I think you get into, you got to look at Washington State, Oregon State. And I think Colorado might be just below that.
USC? I
think USC's 3rd.
Okay.
I actually think Utah is going to get them again.
Sign me up for it.
I think Utah is going to get them again. I think probably Washington can sneak them again, and I think Oregon can beat them.
Utah needs Cam Rising back. That offense has been very bad. They need their experienced quarterback back. I mean, they've made it work. They're still undefeated, still hanging on in there. had a pick 6 on the first play of the game against UCLA, only scored one more touchdown. UCLA got one late, but they win that game. UCLA, I think, is going to settle into that 7-5 to 9-3 range. They're solid, but I don't take them seriously. I'm with you on Utah. I've been in on that bandwagon for a long time. Love what Kyle Whittingham's doing. Just some numbers to throw out there. So SP Plus at ESPN, Bill Connolly's numbers. The number 1 team is Michigan, number 2, Georgia, number 3, Ohio State. Then, Strick, you have 3 Pac-12 teams, all of whom are coming to the Big Ten. Number 4 in SP Plus, Washington. They are 0.3 points behind Ohio State at number 3. They are 0.8 points clear of USC and Oregon, who are tied at 24.3 according to this metric at number 5 and number 6. So that's in SP Plus. If you go to FPI, ESPN's more general ranking, you see the same story, but in a different order. You have Oregon at number 7, USC at number 8, Washington at number 9. These statistics aren't seeing much separation between those 3 teams, which is why they're in that conversation. They've all looked good at times. They've all had a question or two to answer. But you look at even the depth of that conference. Utah, all they need is their quarterback back. I think they're set. UCLA, solid. One of the best games of the weekend was between Oregon State, number 22 in FPI, and then Washington State, who's a little bit further down the list at number 41. But Strick, how cool for those 2 schools to be sending this message. You hate that they had to play each other. Someone had to win. Someone had to lose that game. It was entertaining to the end. Looked like it was going to be a romp there for a little bit. Oregon State claws back, makes it a game, makes it interesting. What a good message for those 2 teams to send. Like, hey, we're still here. We got something cooking.
I like it. And I'm hoping that they both remain in. It's just so tough because it's right now they're looking like one of the more deeper of the conferences as far as, their levels of ranking and talent. And in watching them, they don't show me that they're any less talented or able than any other team in the Big 12 or even in the Big 10
SEC.
In the SEC. I mean, any of those top 3 can beat Ole Miss and any of those, types of teams. I think they can beat Arkansas. I think they can beat Arkansas. I think they can even beat LSU. I think they can get Auburn. I think they can get Florida. Obviously, that's happened already. I think they can get, A&M. I mean, I think they're going to definitely struggle with any of the top tiers. I think Alabama looked good this year. I mean, this week with Milroe and that crew, they played very good. But yeah, man, don't count them out right now. As a whole, I'm talking about as a collective from top to bottom.
Right now, according to adjusted EPA per play, so expected points added, a little bit more advanced statistic, USC and Washington are the 2 best offenses in the country. Oregon is 7th or 8th in offense. Oregon has the best defense of all of them, so they're further to the upper right. J. Bud Davis is the Twitter account for this. But Strick, the top 5 teams in that metric: Oklahoma, Washington, USC, Miami, Notre Dame. We'll talk about that more next segment. A&M's in that conversation. You have Ohio State and Michigan side by side. Florida State in that conversation. What Oregon State and Washington State are doing is basically 80% of the production that Ohio State and Michigan have done so far this year, both offensively and defensively. Again, you would say the talent gap between Ohio State and Michigan to Washington State and Oregon State is pretty big, probably gulf there, but the results have been comparable, have been even better, arguably better for Washington State and Oregon State relative to expectations. Ohio State and Michigan haven't dominated by any stretch of the imagination, whereas Washington State and Oregon State have really taken that step forward. The SEC is just okay right now. No one's looked absolutely unimpeachable, unassailable
at all.
Maybe this is Pac-12's year. I'm just maybe it is.
Like, so okay, let's stick with that. And the question that came to mind, based off of what I've been seeing, is this: in what way can the Pac-12 survive? Or is the Pac-12 literally dead? Obviously, the teams are gone.
Right.
Arizona State, Arizona's out. We know Washington. We know
Oregon, USC, UCLA.
out.
Arizona State, Arizona, Colorado, Utah, also out.
So how do they survive? Because I don't even think a plucking of Mountain West or anything like that does it. I think you just allow yourself to go on. I think, stuff is ramping up as far as Stanford and Cal.
Oh, they're gone. They're in the ACC.
So you've got that. Where do they go? Are they Big 12 bound? Do they go Big 12? Does the Big 12 just say, you know what? Let's do it for all the sports, for baseball, because those are some strong.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? They're strong
Oregon
there.
State baseball for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Big 12, maybe Big 12 bound.
There's gotta be a place for those two schools, even in the changing landscape, right? Oregon State and Washington State have taken the Pac-12, the conference, to court, saying since everyone else said they're leaving, we're the ones in charge. We're going to exercise our power, see if we can't keep this together. Will it be successful? Probably not. What's going to happen is those two schools are going to get a boatload of money. A lot of those court fees are going to kick back to them as a, hey, sorry, we're leaving you. Here's a little gift, sort of thing. But then to me, Strick, it's up to Washington State and Oregon State to make the most of that money, whether that's investing it, hopefully in student athletes and welfare or facilities or whatever that looks like. What I think is going to happen is Oregon State and Washington State have the chance to become essentially the new Boise State, dominate a lesser, quote unquote, conference, a group of 5 conference, stay at the top of that as long as you can. Your coaches will probably get plucked, probably get poached if you're having success at that lower level. So then you just got to find the next guy
and then just
build a system, sustain.
Then your goal and focus is to get to the tail end, that 10 to 12 number in the playoffs every year.
Right.
That's your goal.
And then capitalize.
And then go
take
get
advantage.
It. Yeah.
That's what Boise did. That's what TCU did. When they got their chances, they didn't miss very often.
Yeah. I think that's the way you survive as far as a team looking with no home. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're walking around aimlessly. Just win, baby, win. I mean, that winning solves all the ails of anything that you may be going through or enduring. Winning's is gonna nullify any of the negativity that comes with it. If they keep winning, they're gonna position themselves for somebody to want them. It's you know what I mean?
Because they don't want anyone else.
Winner.
They don't want to add the Mountain West and just absorb it into a new Pac-12. No.
Everybody wants a winner. So be that. Be the winner and let them. Hey, come on over here, guy. We like what you're doing. Yeah. So you're hard pressed to pull somebody into a bad situation. I still don't think there's enough money for them. For even if
that part. Perfect segue. Steve, watching on YouTube. Again, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, you can be a part of the conversation. We've had some people on the text line, 402-464-5685, brought to you by Sartor Heyman. But Steve's question, Strick, can Oregon State and Washington State afford to go the route of Notre Dame? No other school in the country can.
No. Unfortunately, no. I think the closest that anyone has come to even be in the realm of Notre Dame is maybe Texas.
BYU.
No.
BYU was independent for a while. They're just now getting back into conference.
I don't think they're. I mean, yeah, they're independent, but that's because they got a lot of that, that Mormon money.
Right, but that's what Notre Dame's doing with Catholic money.
Yeah, but I just you honestly think that BYU is on the same level? No. I think you're right as far as their independence, but as far as the same level.
No.
So what I'm saying is influence, right? So I'm talking about. Yeah. I'm not just talking about monetary. I'm talking about the influence part. So I'm not disagreeing with you, but I look at Notre Dame. So therefore, the only one that comes to mind. Let's stay out the money aspect, but just go influence. That would have been Texas. That basically. The Texas-Oklahoma deal should have hit them upside their head. 2 years should have been upside the head of losing, their revenue, right? Yeah. But because of influence and because of the big TV deals that they had, they were able to finagle and work a way out so where they're not losing their head.
Right.
And they're still making out not as bad, but okay.
I think that's a totally fair point. Outside of that, I mean, with the combination of, the oil money, the wealthy graduates, just the pure size of the alumni base.
Yeah.
I think Texas is there. SMU nowhere near on the influence, but their boosters are floating them.
Yes.
For a decade into the ACC. So it would have to be a Texas school. Texas definitely the most likely option.
Yeah. That's I don't even think Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma benefits from the red rival that gives them the influence that they have. But other than that, I'm saying I still think TV-wise, if somebody was to be independent and be able to go at it alone, probably Texas.
I'm with you. Good stuff here on college football. We'll get back into a weekend recap when we get back for hour 2. Want to touch quickly on college basketball practice opening up today. Get Strick's thoughts on what that was like getting back in the gym after a summer away back in college. We'll do that to wrap up hour 1 on the block next.
Hot tub season is here, and to celebrate, Bonds Pool & Spa is having a sale so good that they're offering it up for the whole month. Soak up the savings when you purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now through the end of September. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today and soak up the savings at Bonds Pool & Spa, 33rd and Highway 2, or at bondsallpool.com.
Tailored Lights is your go-to local manufacturer and installer of the best landscape lighting. Tailored Lights is excited to highlight the architecture of your home or business and provide a warm environment that feels safe. And for those outside the Lincoln area, they do ship across the country and are happy to work with anyone near or far with lights anywhere from 18 inches to 110 inches. Enhance your curb appeal with an exquisite Tailored Light today. Call 402-432-2572 or go to tailoredlights.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our Big Fall sales underway, and the new truck incentives are off the charts. Over $5,000 in discounts on select new Sierras and Silverados, and 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. $5,000 off, 0.9% interest rates on select new trucks here at Koppel. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street and check out that great small-town vibe with big city deals. We look forward to seeing you, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any backyard landscaping project, and you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapesupply.com for more info, or call 402-467-1627.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, starting the work week off with mostly sunny skies, or an afternoon high around 81. Tonight we'll see mostly clear skies and a low around 55. And tomorrow more of the same, more sunshine. Temps a little cooler tomorrow. We'll see the high around 78. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrill, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
It's not often a man wakes up and says, I feel the best I have in years. We hear this all the time at Limitless Mail, and it can happen to you when you go to Limitless Mail and get a blood test to see what your body is missing. That's how simple it is. Schedule a free consult with Limitless Mail. Discuss your symptoms. Do the blood test. If your lab results say you're low in testosterone, we can fix that. Age is just a number. You can feel your best again. Just ask Limitless Mail.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us this Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. at Double Eagle Golf in the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street for a Ryder Cup watch party and preview of Nebraska, Michigan. Book your bay to hit shots while enjoying the show and enjoy USA-themed drink specials. Book today at doubleeagle.golf. We'll see you on Friday.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, but it's not just me. Folks all over town are having success with the FXB program. Guys like Gary, who just finished up his own 10-week challenge.
Yeah, Mark. After having a knee replacement in March, I was looking for a way to get back into shape. The workouts are fun, the atmosphere is a total blast, and I've lost 17 pounds since starting in July.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I love that. I still can't whistle to this day. It's just a bunch of air that comes out.
Join the club. Whistling's hard. Even with like the fingers trick, I got nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
I tried. I just look like a freaking clown.
You're a better basketball player than Whistler.
Definitely. If I had to whistle to get a play across, I'm just so glad that my voice kind of carries.
Yep.
Because if I had to like whistle and tell somebody to get their attention, I wouldn't make it. I'd be in trouble.
You just clap, wave your hands wildly.
I was glad I was a referee. I had a whistle.
Had a tool to help you.
I had the tool already that did the work for me. Yeah,
I'm
man.
with you.
Where we at? What are we talking about?
Just a couple minutes in this segment here before we hit our top of the hour break. College basketball practice starts today. Nebraska back at it. My Blue Devils of Duke back at it today. College basketball teams across the country opening it up. As a player, what's it like getting back to official practice in the fall?
So you go through a phase. I mean, I don't think we had any trips off season when I was here in that 4-year span. If I could be wrong. I don't think we had any trips. We did have some good, in season like tournament trips, but I don't think we had any like where they went over to Spain. I know, I think the year before they went to Germany. So I don't know if we did. I can't remember. But you're tired of beating each other up, because what we would do is we would have open gyms. We would come back. We would have some of the best, people. We play in little leagues, and you just kind of get tired of that. So it was good to get back on the floor and start really pushing and pressing towards the exhibitions and the excitement and the build up for that. We had Midnight Madness at the time.
Ooh.
So we literally came in at midnight and got it cracking, and the fans were in there. It was fun.
Instead of opening night, it was Midnight Madness.
Yeah, it was a Midnight Madness.
Yeah.
So those were fun. And that was, man, the excitement for that. I mean, they're doing it so much bigger now. I mean, you got concerts and all kinds of stuff going on, all types of entertainment. I mean, it was just literally, we came in there and got it cracking. I love that they're doing it together with the women, having a dual type of thing. But you're just excited that it's right around the corner, that it's here, it's arrived.
6 weeks away from the first games across college basketball. I think tickets are still available for opening night. It's on Friday down at PBA. Go check out both the men's and the women's team there. One biggest storyline, the biggest storyline that stands out to you with Nebraska basketball as they open fall camp.
Just the return of Tamanaga.
I like it.
I think that's good. I mean, after what he was able to do in helping the Japanese team, obviously they got in to the Olympics. And I think they're going to play in the, so this was the Worlds. There's one more thing pre-Olympic, right? I think I can't remember what it is, but that's neither here nor there. I'm glad that he returned. I think it was important that he returned. Now, what are they going to do with him in the return? That's what that's the storyline I'm really watching. If you're still planning to play him at the 2, he'll end up in the G League or over in Japan.
Yeah.
If you're just going to play him at the 2, if you don't allow him to handle the ball, don't allow him to work off pick and rolls, don't showcase his abilities to distribute and find guys. Yes, you need him to score. Yes, you need him to do all of that. But if you don't expand, that's what hurt me, Austin, right? Because, and I'm explaining this in the context of Tamanaga, and I know we got to get a break, but what happened was, because I was so versatile in the fact that I 1 week I had to guard a 6'8" guy, maybe a 4-man. The next week I might have to guard a point guard. The next week I might have to guard a 6'6", 6'7", 3, like Donnie Boyce or somebody in Colorado. Because of that versatility, it was helping the team. It was good for the team that I had the ability to do so many different things, and you didn't have to play me at a specific position. But it hurt me. It hurt me because in the eyes of the scouts, I couldn't play the point guard position because I never really had to play. Even though I handled the ball, I could penetrate and create, and I was probably, I think, second in assists, second on the team. All of that goes out the window because they don't see you run the team. As Tamanaga goes to the next level, yes, his shooting abilities are well. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. You want to show the diversity of your game so that way you can then be used and not siloed into a specific thing that you do, because then there's 100 people that do that.
Right.
Then there's
that are probably bigger and quicker and stronger.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Don't have to worry about defensive liabilities and all of that because there's a lot more space.
Right.
So you're going to have to showcase all of that. And that's why I'm saying I'm hoping that they're able to show that.
And if Keisei is going to run some point, he can't put on a show or like run a circus, right? Step one is prove you make the basic reads. Prove you can handle the responsibility. He can do some crazy stuff that's fun to watch, but show you can be steady. I think that's going to be huge for him.
I don't even think he has to be like Pickett from last year at Penn State. No, nothing like that. But show that he can handle and run and control the game and take over if he needs to take over. That would bode well for him, because Pickett just doesn't shoot the ball as well.
Right.
I think he leads well, but the issue is in the NBA,
old man post game doesn't work.
It just doesn't work. That's it.
I'll have some storylines coming up tonight. The Corner 3, 6 to 7 p.m. here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'll get into my Nebraska storylines. Also just going to take a look around college basketball. Got a handful of teams that I'm just interested in, going to raise some questions, kind of talk through it. So stay tuned for that at 6 o'clock tonight. Strick's not done yet, though. I'm not kicking him to the side just yet. We got another hour of On the Block here. We'll talk some more college football, kind of go around the country, see what's up there. And then we'll talk recruiting with Brian Munson of Husker Online. Jay Foreman walking right by our window. What a sight for sore eyes. Appreciate Jay. He was in here with Nick and Rico earlier. Hour 2 On the Block comes your way just a sec.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
If you're a veteran or know a veteran who's having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, the Veterans Crisis Line provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. Dial 988, then press 1, and you'll be connected to a trained crisis counselor who will listen, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. Thank you for your service. We owe you our support. Dial 988, then press 1. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
All right, it's lunchtime. Where should we go today?
How about Qdoba? We can get free queso and chips with an entree purchase.
Whoa, how'd you know about that?
It's in the campus cash booklet that we got for free to start the school year, the student marketplace. You didn't get yours?
I'd better go grab mine now.
You'd better stop at the College of Hair Design, too. Your hair is getting long. $8 haircut with the campus cash book.
What about my friends who are out of college?
They can download the Campus Cash app for free and get great deals, too, from Pizza Hut, Juice Stop, Craft Axe Throwing, and tons more.
Campus Cash, the student marketplace. Find your free booklet on campus or download the Campus Cash app.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us this Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. at Double Eagle Golf in the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street for a Ryder Cup watch party and preview of Nebraska, Michigan. Book your bay to hit shots while enjoying the show and enjoy USA-themed drink specials. Book today at doubleeagle.golf. We'll see you on Friday.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, starting the work week off with mostly sunny skies or an afternoon high around 81. Tonight we'll see mostly clear skies and a low around 55. And tomorrow more of the same, more sunshine. Temps a little cooler tomorrow. We'll see high around 78. Meteorologist Kyle Cutter for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Avenue. This week's specials through September 26th are $2 off grass-finished 6-ounce fillets. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Great Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street. If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrill, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it, hour 2 of the show here on a Victory Monday for Husker football. 28-14, the Huskers take down the Bulldogs. Haven't talked much about that one. Don't know if there's much to say about it. If you have any thoughts, let us know, 402-464-5685, or be like Steve Dean on the YouTube stream. Also Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter up and rolling for you throughout the rest of the show and for all our shows here at 93.7 The Ticket. On the Block, this little ditty we do from 2 to 4 on weekdays, proudly sponsored by, brought to you by, courtesy of Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Find them 27th and Pine Lake down here in South Lincoln. Not today, not tomorrow. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Get down there, check out their lunch buffet, their Southern Sweet Heat wings that we were lucky enough to sample. Silver medalist at a wing competition, so you know they're legit. We're diving back into college football here this hour. We'll go over the weekend's games in this segment. Got Brian Munson of Husker Online with us. In the next segment, he'll recap the Brandon Baker commitment. Not good news for Nebraska. What went into that decision? Plenty of other questions for Brian Munson of Husker Online here in just about 15 minutes or so. All right, Strick, well, we'll start our way at the top of the top 25. And we'll work our way down. Georgia, no problems with UAB, whatever. Michigan, Rutgers, we'll talk about that one a little bit later in the week. Michigan wins. Texas dominates Baylor on the road, kind of what
Baylor's
we're used
garbage.
to there.
Yeah, they're not very good.
I'm with you. First interesting game in the top 5, Florida State at Clemson. We all buried Clemson after week 1. They go to Duke, they lose, we buried them. But Strick, last week I said, we're writing Clemson off too quickly, right? Florida State still has to go on the road and prove it can win a game that it hasn't before.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson's still tough. They hung in there. They got out to a good start. Dabo got scared, I think, made some really questionable decisions down the stretch. A busted play led to the tying touchdown, the sack on Klubnik, the scoop and score. Credit Clemson for hanging tough. Credit Florida State for finding a way to get it done when I don't think they were at their best, a really tough environment.
Well, there's no question. I mean, their running game was atrocious, only 20 yards of rushing. And it was timely things. Obviously the difference in this game was the scoop and score.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth defensively. Klubnik played a pretty solid game. Didn't do anything to really make other than the sack. I mean, it wasn't his fault.
No.
I thought the running game was solid too. I mean, Phil Maffa looked really good. Shipley and obviously, Klubnik got in the game a little bit. 146 yards in the rushing game for them. 283 in passing. Spread out everywhere. So I think this was the best that I saw Clemson looked in this game. And Florida State just shout out to them. They took the adversities of what they learned last year and they applied it on a tough road atmosphere going into Clemson and getting a win and doing it, by way of the defense and just something that maybe had let them down in the past. They got it done.
Clemson's a receiver or two short, I think, of being a top 20 team. Again, Klubnik I still think is fine. Hasn't been the solution, but I don't think he's the problem.
No.
Almost had a really cool story with the guy that's taking the grad classes online that Dabo brings back to campus.
Oh, yeah.
Hits a 30-yarder, but misses a 29-yarder with like 45 seconds to go that would have given Clemson the lead. Your heart breaks for that kid. Had the moment of a lifetime set up for him on a platter and couldn't come through.
Yeah, that hurts because we talked about it a little bit earlier about the bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
We were using Colorado as an example, Nebraska as an example, and then we're using, boxing and other things. That young man who foregone, I mean, just think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a internship or something, or no, he has a job. He had a job in New York at a nice company. The owner of the company comes to the game. You have the big kick the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You have the kick of a lifetime. It's more about the bounce back. What is your next one's going to look like when you get, because you got to think about it. That guy, the gentleman that just hired you, let me just say this for everybody, for all of us, we never know who's watching. Just because we're on a football field or on a basketball field or in an AAU tournament, body language, the way that we handle adversity, the way that when we get into trouble, foul trouble, how do we mitigate that? All of you got to think about it. People are watching you. It's not just watching. Everybody thinks that it's about the score. It's about the points. It's about how much you're killing somebody out there. Sometimes it's the little things. This is a little thing for that young man coming back. How is he going to bounce back? Because I think it's bigger than just the Clemson situation. I think it's the owner of the company is also looking to see what type of character I got in this young man.
He doesn't care about whether or not he went 50% on kicks or 100% on kicks.
No.
He cares about the mindset and the approach.
There you go.
Elsewhere in the top 25 matchup between Penn State and Iowa, we talked a little bit about it. 31-0 Penn State. Iowa gains less than 100 total yards.
Are you not entertained?
Not by Iowa.
Not by,
but by Penn State, I am, Strick. We can save Iowa discourse for another time, but I'm going to repeat this. I've said it the last couple weeks. Penn State, to me, has looked like the best team in the Big Ten. They've taken care of business the most. Nick and I were going through this. Penn State hasn't turned the ball over offensively with really a first-time full-time starter in Drew Aller, who's just ripping some throws but not being asked to do too much. The defense is there. I'm really starting to like my dark horse Penn State pick.
It's all simple. It's simple. Look, there's creativity that's making it simple for Aller to then go boom, boom, boom. He's getting enough time. He's not getting, but then when he is getting, he has good feet that he can move. So, he's not getting murdered in this, getting surprised. He's seeing things and he's making the plays. You're not going to look at him and say, 166 yard, 4 TDs.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
against Iowa, who doesn't let that up.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Iowa's defense is always and has been dangerous. Now, there was a couple times where there were, maybe a ball got a little errant, could have been something. But other than that, man, he's just making the right decisions. Slant, nothing, flat. Oh.
Yeah. And it's about that casual.
A drive, route. 2, 1 deep in, 1 short in, and then somebody maybe coming across, nothing on the drive. Oh, and that's it. It's simple, and he's not, doing anything to cost and hurt his team.
He's not.
He's doing good.
Penn State's rolling at this point.
Yeah, they look good. Their defense is good too. Let's be real.
Oklahoma is a team you and I were a little divided on in the break. They beat Cincinnati only 20-6. Strick, I'm going to refer back to the FPI and to the SP Plus numbers here to show you that the eye test doesn't always match the numbers.
Yeah.
Right now, according to FPI, Football Power Index at ESPN, the number 2 team in the country is Oklahoma.
Wow.
Number 2 in FPI, if you go to SP Plus, not much different of a story. Oklahoma is ranked number 8 in FP Plus with the 4th best offense and the 13th best defense right now, above average special teams too. Oklahoma hasn't looked that special, but they're taking care of business, whereas Kansas State has taken a little bit of a step back. Kansas hasn't played the most challenging slate yet, a big one for them this weekend at Texas that you were pointing out to me. Right now, if you just go by the numbers, Texas and Oklahoma, the 2 teams that are on their way out of the Big 12, are in the driver's seat to play in the championship game.
So here's my issue. You really got a big benefit out of the Arkansas State game.
Yes.
73-0. You know what I mean? SMU challenged you.
They did.
You know what I mean? So, okay, you handle business because your defense showed up for you and took care of business. Tulsa,
Nah.
And I'm still not bought on Cincinnati. So these next 2 weeks is a ramp up to tell me all I need to know about this Oklahoma Sooner team. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt of the numbers and the analytics at this point, but I'm still not sold because do I trust Gabriel in big moments? This is what I'm going to be watching for these next 2 weeks. Iowa State will challenge them. They're not going to lay down. They're not going to give up. They're not, a juggernaut where you're just going to be worried about what they're going to do to you offensively, or they're just a good balanced team. They're going to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of game you want in preparation going into a game against potentially a top 5 opponent.
Let's jump from the Big 12 to the SEC. Georgia still runs that conference. Haven't been as impressed with Georgia, but that bar's harder to clear when you win 2 national championships in a row, when you lose everything they have. They're still undefeated, still, taking care of business for the most part. But a few interesting results, Strick. Tennessee, ranked number 23 in the country, dominates UTSA. It's 45-14. UTSA without my guy, Frank Harris at quarterback, been around a long time. You have LSU sneaking by Arkansas. They were up big. They let Arkansas back in it. They need the go-ahead field goal at the end to win it 34-31. And then Ole Miss and Bama, a 13-15 matchup. Lane Kiffin talks a big game. Ole Miss is up 7-6 at halftime. Alabama doesn't look good. Turn on the Jets in the second half. Score 18 of the 21 points scored in the second half, a 24-10 win. Bama's not vintage. LSU hasn't taken a step forward. Tennessee got manhandled by Florida, and Ole Miss is still just a bunch of talk.
And then Florida's just kind of milling around.
Florida's living off of one win.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Mississippi State, not inspiring. Kentucky, more of the same. Vandy's Vandy. Arkansas, nah. Missouri, nah. There's not a lot going on in the SEC right now, Strick.
I agree. And this is why the intrigue shifts west to the Pac-12 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now they look very vulnerable, the SEC. I think there's some clipping of the hedges that can possibly be happening as we get later and later into the season. I'm just gonna call it as I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for an ACC school to also pop, maybe pop some bottles.
Sure.
Florida State's dangerous. Until somebody does something to Duke, I'm rolling. Until somebody does something to Duke, or just show me that they gonna, handle their business against them and look them in the eye and, maybe slap the taste out their mouth. I don't see it right now. But
Carolina's better than they were last year, slightly.
But
maybe
it's still blasé to me. And I'm just I'm talking about watching them.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing like that old SEC style that I'm like, ooh, they just look,
it's
10
them and
times
nobody
better.
else.
Yeah,
No.
I don't see that.
I'm with you. Definitely stuff to monitor. We'll preview this weekend's games. Plenty of interesting ones on tap as we get later in the week. We're going to step aside. Welcome in Brian Munson of Husker Online next. He's our recruiting insider. We did get a commitment from Brandon Baker. Doesn't go the Huskers' way. What went into that decision? 2 weeks of official visits in the books. Biggest home game of the year coming up. What does that visitor list look like? And what does Nebraska need to target in classes moving forward to get out of the doldrums offensively, to make more plays on defense? All those questions and more with Brian Munson of Husker Online next on the block.
It's not often a man wakes up and says, I feel the best I have in years. We hear this all the time at Limitless Mail, and it can happen to you when you go to Limitless Mail and get a blood test to see what your body is missing. That's how simple it is. Schedule a free consult with Limitless Mail. Discuss your symptoms. Do the blood test. If your lab results say you're low in testosterone, we can fix that. Age is just a number. You can feel your best again. Just ask Limitless Mail.
All right, it's lunchtime. Where should we go today?
How about Qdoba? We can get free queso and chips with an entree purchase.
Whoa, how'd you know about that?
It's in the campus cash booklet that we got for free to start the school year. The student marketplace. You didn't get yours?
I'd better go grab mine now.
You'd better stop at the College of Hair Design too. Your hair is getting long. $8 haircut with the campus cash book.
What about my friends who are out of college?
They can download the Campus Cash app for free and get great deals too. From Pizza Hut, Juice Stop, Craft Axe Throwing, and tons more.
Campus Cash, the student marketplace. Find your free booklet on campus or download the Campus Cash app. If you're in Seward or Milford,
listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
It's football season, and that means coaches everywhere are busy making game plans.
Hi, my name is Seth Morris with Liberty Law Group. Teams make game plans because no two opponents are the same. At Liberty Law, we know no two cases are the same. Whether it's a DUI, a criminal charge, or you were injured and it wasn't your fault, we tailor our legal game plan to meet your unique needs. We are relentless trial attorneys serving all of Nebraska. To learn more, go to libertylawnebraska.com. Again, that's libertylawnebraska.com.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Accelerate your financial journey. With Kasasa Cash, experience the thrill of earning more with each transaction or the freedom to withdraw your cash from any ATM nationwide. Not to mention, no monthly service fees. It's the power of earning up to 5.5% APY on your Kasasa Cash with Liberty First Credit Union. Earn rewards beginning at a penny, continuing up to $40,000. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us this Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. at Double Eagle Golf in the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street for a Ryder Cup watch party and preview of Nebraska, Michigan. Book your bay to hit shots while enjoying the show and enjoy USA-themed drink specials. Book today at doubleeagle.golf. We'll see you on Friday.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings. Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Avenue. This week's specials through September 26th are $2 off grass-finished 6-ounce fillets. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, starting the work week off with mostly sunny skies, an afternoon high around 81. Tonight we'll see mostly clear skies and a low around 55. And tomorrow more of the same, more sunshine. Temps a little cooler tomorrow. We'll see high around 78. Meteorologist Kyle Tucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right, Strick and Austin with you here in studio. We go now to our Allo VIP line, providing you exceptional service with local heart. Check out Allo Fiber for all your home internet needs. Joined now by Brian Munson of Husker Online on that Allo VIP line. Finally, some official visits in the books, Brian. We're 2 weeks in here now with visitors at Memorial Stadium. I'm sure you were talking to plenty of guys. Who and what stood out to you from this weekend of conversations and chatter?
Yeah, guys. So about 60 more visitors in town. No, 2024 official visitors. They had a 2024 long snapper in from Dallas who I have not been able to reach quite yet. But really, this was about 2025, 2026s, and even a 2027. So let's start back at the top. Jack Limbaugh, who is probably one of Nebraska's top edge prospects in the 2025 class, was back in Lincoln. This was actually his first game at Nebraska, and his dad was actually, a walk-on football player, and his mom played volleyball at Nebraska. I think it's, it sets up really well for him. Obviously, he's teammates with Alex Mansky, who is Nebraska's #1 quarterback prospect. He is also friends with Blaze Gunnerson, or actually trained at the same place that Blaze did back in high school. I think that sets up really well for Nebraska, because I think that he's going to have a chance to go to Iowa, go to Minnesota, do the other kind of schools, here in the fall. But I think that the way that Mansky and Limbaugh both played this, I think that they're really kind of eyeballing a chance to get back to Lincoln, particularly to see that game on Black Friday against Iowa. So it's a great opportunity for Nebraska to host both those guys twice in the fall. So that's a big one. Here's another one, and it's something that probably not a lot of people are going to kind of say resonates with them when it comes the entire weekend. DeAndre Harper, offensive lineman, Omaha North, big dude. I mean, really a good-sized kid. Saw him in February. He is a massive, massive guy. He is actually a D2 commitment to D2 powerhouse Northwest Missouri State. He came to Nebraska this weekend for a visit and actually got offered a preferred walk-on opportunity. So he is kicking around that idea a little bit. So that's going to be something to kind of keep an eye on. I talked to Carter Nelson last night. That story is still coming, so it's not out there yet for anybody to kind of read. Some interesting nuggets, though, from him about talking about the offense and, the traditional tight end position, and realistically, where he could see himself playing, and maybe what the Nebraska coaches have, kind of said to him, or what his kind of mindset is kind of going into Nebraska. And then I also caught up with Connor Booth last night. That was his first weekend at Nebraska. He wasn't able to make it for the first game against NIU. He's having a massive junior year. So he is really one of those guys that's showing out this fall. He's obviously a guy that's going to play bowl sports in Nebraska, but just interesting stuff listening to him talk about the bigger running backs, the success of the run game so far at Nebraska, and kind of what's going on there a little bit. One other guy to throw out there, obviously local guy, Jackson Carpenter, Lincoln Southwest wide receiver. His story came out this morning about 10 o'clock. He is a guy that's picking up some traction. People need to kind of pay attention to that. So he was out in Wyoming. He went to North Dakota State. He picked up an offer at North Dakota State. He comes to Nebraska. He's got some other visit plans kind of coming up here in the coming weeks. So he's a player that I'd say quietly is making some noise among all the 2025 guys in the state. So, he already had a UNI offer before the North Dakota State. In North Dakota State, they don't offer dudes early. They just don't. They just don't do it. And so it's very telling about them throwing an offer out to Jackson as a junior.
You said he's from Lincoln Southwest. Is he a Brandon Riley comp? Is that fair just because they look similar and they're from the same high school? What makes them similar or different?
I think Riley has a little bit of speed, a little bit of length. Jackson is he's got a great vertical. He can jump out of the gym. He's a 32, 33 inch kind of vertical guy. It'll stand out when he's playing basketball. It stands out when he's, going into the fade routes in the corner of the end zone, and he's having to go ahead and go up and get the football. He shows he has good speed too. He's a 10-6, 100 guy, but think it back to Riley. Riley was a little longer, I think. He's a little past 6'2". He was a little lighter, I think, than what Jackson was, but I think he also had just a little bit more straight line speed. But Jackson's really turned it on. I mean, he went from I think a 10-8 time as a sophomore, and I think he turned it all the way down to 10-6. So he's going to be pushing Riley, I think, when everything's said and done, when it comes to that 100-meter time.
A name that's come up the past couple weeks as we've talked is Alex Mansky. We haven't specifically asked you about him. What style of quarterback is he? Where's he from? What's his story?
So Mansky is the same high school as Jack Limbaugh, who we kind of started off with this last weekend. He is, he's an athlete. He can certainly run it, but he's a throw first guy. He keeps his eyes downfield. He's very patient. He's a great distributor with the football. He doesn't make bad decisions. Good sized guy. I mean, I think that's really what kind of gave Nebraska, I think, gave him the edge over like a Stone Saunders. And I think there were some other things that were kind of going wrong behind the scenes with Stone Saunders to kind of begin with. There was a hire at University of Kentucky. I think that person that got hired was very close with Stone Saunders' father. Mansky obviously is a guy that I think, is going to get a lot of regional attention. I don't think it's one that I think Nebraska can feel like, hey, he's ours, he's in the bag. He's got Iowa and Minnesota and Iowa State recently kind of came in with an offer too. So I think he's a throw first guy that's got great athleticism and makes better decisions.
I'm glad you brought up Saunders. I was going to ask you about him because I was pretty high on him at the start of the process when Nebraska was in on him.
I was too.
So that's a little bit of a bummer to hear, but hopefully Mansky lives up to that. How would you compare Mansky to Nebraska's 24 commit and Daniel Kalen?
Similar-ish. I think that, and I don't think Kalen would fight me here on this one. I think Mansky's a little bit better of an athlete. I think they both have kind of similar arm talent. I think that's been maybe the question that a lot of people, at least like all these call-in shows after the game, people have questions about, like, look, you got Harburg that's running a 4.4, you got Sims, it's a 4.4 guy, you got obviously Purdy's got some athleticism, then you get, you go to a Daniel Kalen. Like, what is the desired, kind of quarterback look like that Matt Rule is going to kind of bring in there to Lincoln? And I don't think it really has like a single swim lane. I think that's really kind of, you don't want to pigeonhole, I think, anything about the way that Matt Rule is going to recruit and stock his rooms. I don't think he wants everybody in the room to look and operate the same anyway. I think he wants a variety. I think he would rather have guys in the room that do things differently, and he tends to, kind of work things out to their strengths, and kind of that helps the team kind of go forward. So I think that's a fair comparison. Like I said, I give Mansky the edge on athleticism, and I think that overall, though, I think they're very similar quarterbacks, like arm talent wise.
We're chatting with Brian Munson of Husker Online here. He gives us everything we need to know about recruiting here Mondays at 3:30. Also check him out at Husker Online, a part of the On3 network covering Nebraska recruiting. Brian, a miss for Nebraska. Brandon Baker, he goes to Texas of all schools, and that's not going to make Husker fans happy. What went into that decision for Brandon Baker, and is that book finally officially closed?
It's never done until the ink is dry.
Sure.
It's one of those things where I'm sure Baker feels really good about his decision. Number one, I think he was very thorough and complete about the process. This is a guy that originally told me in April that he didn't plan on making any type of decisions until December. So here we are, late September. He already knows where he wants to go. So he had to accelerate it here a little bit. I think he went about doing things the right way. It's got to be overwhelming. I would say is the best way to kind of sum it up, as the number one offensive tackle in the country, and having teams like Ohio State and Texas and Florida State and Oregon and USC and Nebraska all kind of dying for your attention and to get you to come to their school. I can only imagine some of the stories that obviously he could probably share with us, off of the air, about everything that's kind of happened to him personally. But I think ultimately what Nebraska fans have to feel good about, and again, it's a moral victory. I know Nebraska fans are sick of it. Thank goodness Nebraska's putting up some wins on the scoreboard, so they don't have to just sit there and say these are the things we live for. But, I think it says so much for Matt Rule to kind of get a chance to host a guy like Baker and his teammates, Nate Frazier and Aiden Breland, and to bring in a couple linebackers from Los Angeles that both end up going to Oregon, and to have, and to be in it with like a guy like Dylan Raiola, and get Wingo to take a visit to Nebraska as well. I wonder what things are going to look like, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and hopefully you still see this trajectory for Nebraska kind of continue to kind of, keep going on the upward angle. And if you're operating at that 8 wins, 9 wins, trying to get over a hump, or maybe even making your way into a Big Ten championship game, a couple of these guys may have actually gone Nebraska's way. I think that there just was such a distance between believing that you can turn something around from 3-9 to being relevant in a year. But I mean, here you are looking at that defense and looking at the next, 5, 6 games, 7 games on the schedule going, most of these are pretty, look pretty winnable to me. So it's an interesting situation. Obviously, I think it'd be tough to get Baker back, but now that he's kind of committed to Texas, but if there is one team I think that could make a play for him still, like that just because of the relationship that's there and kind of which way he was leaning the whole entire time, I think the Ducks could still make a strong move for Baker, sometime in November. So never say the door's shut, that you can't do that. But yeah, definitely a blow for Nebraska, but I think kind of good things to come for the Huskers in that rule.
Brian, watching the game on TV, not in the stadium, it seemed like there wasn't a lot of energy there against Louisiana Tech for the team, even in the stadium. Maybe the rain delay and the forecast, the weather had something to do with that. But now you get a game that I still think lives in Nebraska fans' heads with just how electric that night game was against Michigan a couple years ago. What do you expect the environment to be for the players that come in on visits for Nebraska-Michigan on Saturday?
Obviously it's this first Big Ten game under Matt Rule in Lincoln. It's against this blue blood program, the Wolverines, a top 5 team, a team that I kind of would say up to this point is kind of been underwhelming to be a top 5 team, if I can kind of slide that in there. I think you're going to have, pageantry is going to be dialed up to 11. You're trying to go ahead and drive home, the greatest fans in all of college football and these 2 amazing programs kind of being together on the same field. And I think that, one thing I guess I would kind of remind, everybody out there is Nebraska has really played Michigan pretty tough at home, and they may have been completely and totally outclassed from a talent perspective each time that Michigan has come there. But if that was the case, they didn't let it show. And there wasn't anything like intimidation and you're just going to run over us and we're going to lay down. Nebraska's teams have always played tough. And I kind of expect the same thing, this weekend. Obviously, that defense, I think, is going to keep them in the game regardless. It's just a matter of seeing whatever the offense can do. But I think you're going to see as much of the stuff over the top as you possibly can to drive home that atmosphere and that environment. You're kind of going to wish, I think, that, it was a 6 o'clock game and you're catching that light show and the drone show between the third and the fourth quarter. But even without it, I think you're going to get a lot of the sensory overload with what they're going to do on Saturday.
Don't want to steal too much of your thunder here. I'm sure there'll be a full list or as complete a list as possible of visitors coming out later in the week from you or one of your colleagues, Brian. But is there anyone you're waiting to see if they come to Lincoln? Anyone you're interested to talk to before, during, around, after Nebraska, Michigan in terms of recruiting this weekend?
Well, Willis McGahee will be taking his official visit this weekend, which is interesting. I mean, because his team is 5-0 in high school right now. He's the only linebacker recruit that Nebraska has in the class. There's maybe potentially some guys like, Roger Gradney or Rex Guthrie that could potentially play the linebacker position. But Willis McGahee's really the only guy that's still kind of sitting there. And this will be his official visit weekend. So, cause he had committed in June and he didn't come back in June, but there's some dudes coming in like underclassmen. You got Cortez Mills from Homestead, Florida. He's got ties back to the Nebraska coaching staff. He's a 4-star 2025 wide receiver. Bryson Hayes, another talented wide receiver out of Mays, Kansas. You got Chase Lofton coming in from Elkhorn North. And remember, he's got offers from, Nebraska, Oklahoma, I want to say Iowa. But maybe the one guy that, there's a few guys everybody's kind of talking about. But you got a 4-star number one offensive tackle in the country coming in, Jackson Cantwell from Nixon, Missouri. He's got some ties back to the Nebraska program. You got three sophomores coming in from Duncanville, including the number 2 edge in the 2026 class, Kevin Ford. You got Zachary Turner and Ace Theus. Both guys are probably wide receivers, but Zachary's got some great length at 6'3", and Ace is more of a slot guy at 5'9". There's some dudes, and I got a feeling there's going to be some other big announcements as we get ready to go through the rest of the week. So stay tuned. Get back over to Husker Online, but those are the guys I can fill you in on right now.
Husker Online for sure. Brian Munson on Twitter as well. Brian, as always, we appreciate the time. We'll look forward to reading what you have and catching up with you about it again next week.
Sounds good. Talk next week.
There he is, Brian Munson, with us on our Allo VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber. Exceptional service with local heart. Check out Allo Fiber for all your home internet needs. Quick question here on the text line from Ashley Strick. With Daniel Kalen, how's everyone feeling about his senior season? Bell West hasn't looked dominant, haven't run away with Class A despite that. And we mentioned that with Brian, was it last week? Was it a couple weeks ago? Injuries, just not having everyone on the same page at the same time. So I wouldn't read too much into it. The talent is still definitely there, but the chemistry and the timing seem to be what's off for your Thunderbirds right now.
I mean, you heard him say it. It's not athleticism is really the difference, arm strength, and some of the abilities that he possesses is not different from any other top recruits that are coming in here. But that can hurt you. That can hurt you. I mean, shoot, just look at Nebraska right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
in that receiver room, when you don't have those guys that are used to creating that space, then you've got to be great and you got to be good and you got to hope that you have a great line, because the line's got to be able to give you enough time to be able to go through progressions. You know what I mean? When you don't have that, then it's just really difficult.
Big thanks to Brian for stopping by on the show, as he does every Monday at 3:30. If you missed it, want to listen back to anything, check out the podcast. That'll be up wherever you get your podcast later tonight. Jay Foreman milling around in the background. See him there on stream. We'll welcome in the Husker Hall of Famer to cross it over with Old School to wrap up on the block after this.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back.
Sure.
Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Accelerate your financial journey. With Kasasa Cash, experience the thrill of earning more with each transaction or the freedom to withdraw your cash from any ATM nationwide. Not to mention, no monthly service fees. It's the power of earning up to 5.5% APY on your Kasasa Cash with Liberty First Credit Union. Earn rewards beginning at a penny, continuing up to $40,000. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up.
Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
If your car has sent you to the sidelines, Eustace Body Shop can help. With gold-class certified technicians, OEM parts, and free loaner cars, Eustace Body Shop is your best choice this Husker season. And with 6 locations across central and eastern Nebraska, we've got you covered, whether you're rooting at home or you're headed to Memorial Stadium. Get a free online quote at EustaceBodyShop.com, and let's get you back in the game.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Blecker and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Blecker and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador online at prg-ne.com.
Keep your planter. Upgrade your technology with a John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit from Landmark Implement. Choose from ExactEmerge, MaxEmerge 5, or MaxEmerge 5E electric drive row units. Take your planter to the next level. Improve yield potential and profitability without buying new. Get new technology, increased performance, and confidence from your planter that's already in your shed. Contact your local Landmark location to order your John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit and experience the Landmark difference.
Get all of your favorite restaurants delivered with VenueDelivered.com. One place for ordering delicious appetizers, refreshing salads, hot entrees, fresh sandwiches, and more. From Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, and all Lincoln Good Sense Subs locations. Download our phone app to earn rewards on all of your carryout and delivery orders. Available on Apple and Android, just search for the Pillar Restaurants app. That's the Pillar Restaurants app. Download today.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the Ticket crew as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show, powered by Sunbelt Rentals. Ben Blecker with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador, Select Plumbing, Jimmy John's, Lincoln Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Fleet Feet, Yours Cheese Spread on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Until she that's what hey
Yes, sir.
We in here. We always in here.
We in here,
straight
man.
In
We
the
in
building.
Here. We in a full effect.
Jay Foreman. Hey, so what you want to talk about today? I'm gonna let you because I normally will just start dropping it like it's hot. But
Do it. Drop it. What's
no,
hot?
man, get it. What you want to talk about today?
Okay. Have our feelings changed from Saturday night to where we
That's
are today
where I was
about
gonna
Nebraska
go anyway.
football's
See?
win
Great minds
over
think
Louisiana
alike.
Tech?
That's
Look
where
at
I was
us.
gonna go
We
anyway.
connected.
I've watched the game 3 times. There was a lot of good things that, I mean, granted, I think there's good things based on a limited talent at some positions. I mean, let's face it, you're not expecting Jeff Sims to be not only playing 2 games. So, the continuity and the ability to improve as an offense is definitely stymied, but obviously Heinrich has stepped in admirably and done well. And I bet you he's exceeded expectations internally. People will say, "Oh, we," and you've seen him do some stuff. I saw some things that to where when they were trying to go ran the power a little bit, and they came in with the big unit. They were actually moving some guys. You know what I mean? So
especially at the edge. I think the tight ends are doing
the tight ends and
sealing the edges. I like what they're doing.
Bullock and the receivers as a whole are trying to getting after it. So, and then the offensive line that, like I said,
I think in between the tackles, Jay, they struggle.
They're getting on guys, but they're just a little off as far as footwork.
Yeah.
But they've made improvement.
You've had a couple of more whiffs though, Jay. In the passing game, a couple more whiffs.
Well, see that one here, the one that you're thinking. Well, first of all, the first play of the game, somebody had to miss that. I think that had to be on the center and guard, the guy coming right with the middle. The other one that you're thinking of, which I understand the scheme, and that scheme probably would have worked if Nuri was in, but Lutovsky was in. He's a little slower foot, so So they did a turn. They do it all the time in the league, and you see people do it. You see Bama do it. Everybody do it. They'll turn back protection, right? So that means everybody in this case will go to the left, and if the guard is uncovered, he's got to turn back on this guy. Well, if you are a little slow of foot and the center doesn't get out crisp, and what Lutovsky did, he overlunged, and the difference it's just like basketball. If you go for a steal without anticipating your feet going by you, and that's what happened, then he's in it, and then the play's dead, because that play action play, they had max protect, right? They had max protect, the running back, Emmett Johnson, and they had Fedoni in there. All three receivers were open. They were up on stage. So it's just those little things that, probably make people frustrated. I'm sure the coaches and players are frustrated. The scheme or the blocking scheme was probably the right thing. You just need better execution, or maybe a check to where, you're in a pickle there, because if you keep Ben Scott in and he's able to block it and kind of slide there, and then you go man the other side, and then you expect Lutovsky to get out on that blitzer 21, the nickel blitz, then it's kind of like you're doing the same thing. But, I think they did some good things. I think, they just need to improve at being more explosive and more consistent, and just a little bit more crisper. I think, and so, that's just going to come to consistent improvement. But really what it comes down to, Strick, is just they need to start with obviously more urgency. And the reason why they have to is because Michigan's going to bring it. Their standard is the standard. So they're traveling. So you got to match that and then some. You can't ooze into this game. And that's the way the first half's been. And then you need special teams to step up, right? So you think like, okay, you got a holding call against a pretty much untouched 93-yard kickoff. And then we had a pretty good return going. And then Tommy Hill, it was a good play on them, but had bad ball security, and you got it back. We need to eliminate that. And then we just got to figure, the kicker has enough leg. There's not a question about his leg. So he needs to, look, he's from West Side. Chris Brown's son goes to West Side, or did, or one of them does, and then the older one did. Look, he's one. Chris is probably the best kicker and most consistent in Nebraska history. Okay, he's one of them. If not, if I need a kick, I'm picking him.
And did it in the NFL too.
Exactly, for a long time. Right?
He's no Matt Gay, but
right. Therefore, you have a resource there that you can pick up and call or text, as if like I wanted to text Mike Singletary or whoever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
And it's got to be a little something, because he has too much talent, too much leg strength, but all those things go together. So the continuity from all three levels is almost there. But in order to go out there and play your best game against Michigan, you got to get going.
Got to have it. 10-second station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I think I'd have to agree with you. And I'm just going to throw this last thing out before we turn it over to you guys to get busy on old school. But what scares me is they don't scare me, as far as I think that Nebraska's not going to lay down. This isn't a lay down moment. I think they're going to fight. But here's what scares me. Harburg, 19 carries, 183 yards. Love it. Could have been even actually 200 plus.
Right, because one got called back
on some bull jump.
questionable.
Right, question.
Right.
The carry numbers is probably about 5 or 6 more than I would like.
Me too.
But okay, this game you can accept that because that's where your factor was of domination.
And you was hitting it, yeah.
And you was hitting, right? I love some of Anthony Grant's runs, so I'm happy there. Emmett Johnson looked unsure of himself.
Yeah.
Like he's still
thinking too much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then you saw it on the mishap between him and Jeff, and that's just
right.
That just is a one-off. Okay. The passing numbers, not Nebraska, La Tech. If La Tech has that kind of I'm still loving the defense. The defense and the rush and all of that, I'm still loving. But they go for almost 300.
Mm-hmm.
With the running game that Michigan has, that scares me because of the fact that without the running game, they were almost able to hit 300 on you in the passing game, which is a little bit of wariness for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of, some of those yards of chuck and duck where the game's over and Nebraska's playing a little soft. It's after the rain delay. But, yeah, there's some areas that they were attacking. And, in one of the big routes that they hit like a 7-cut towards their sideline, I think it was a lack of communication because you had negative splits by either the 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, and they ran into each other. And then he was open, and the safety had to come over. And it was a great catch, but still, that those are things that Michigan possibly is going to try to put into their playbook to kind of run it their way. I would be fine if J.J. McCarthy is trying to throw at 30 sometimes. If Nebraska loses by him throwing it 27 to 38 times, tip your hat.
Go on
back to Ann Arbor. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what you want. They got Roman Wilson, who's a legit NFL receiver. Other guys are very young but extremely talented.
Loveland, the tight end.
I was about to say they got a good tight end, which Jim Harbaugh's always going to have a good tight end. I feel that we match up well with their tight end because we can run multitude of bodies at him. It's kind of like defending a good basketball player. You run different looks at him, you can slow him down. If they come in and try to throw it, I like it. I think the biggest thing for Nebraska is play extremely well against the run and be consistent and disciplined in their different looks. And they got to run like hell and they got to hit like hell.
Like your boy Singleton came up and laid that.
But they got to swarm.
Like that. Yeah,
they got to swarm for 4 quarters. And if they can do a good job against the run, then they're in an advantageous position. Now, offensively, they're going to have to find ways just to keep them off balance.
Yeah.
And I kind of like if you could get it. I don't know who's going to play quarterback, obviously. I like spread them out. I like them to spread that defense out, stretch that defense horizontally. Then we can hit them vertically, but not vertically up the sidelines, vertically in the middle of the field.
Seems.
Right.
Yeah,
so
we've got to do that.
Soften that bad boy up. It opens up for the quarterback run. It opens up for maybe the quarterback power because you can motion in a tight end. He can be your leader. It's a different way to skin a cat. They do that, and special team steps up and do it. We're on old school. We're going to ask the question to the texters out there: why not Nebraska, and why hasn't Nebraska? Everybody else has done it. Duke beat Clemson. You see Boston College beat whoever. You see these teams that raise up, right? Purdue got on the map. Rondell Moore and all them got on the map by beating Ohio State, I think, that year at Purdue. Why can't Nebraska do that? That's what we're going to talk about. A little NFL news. I know Austin's hyped because they're the best team in the AFC South.
Your Texans are on the board. Your Bills did their thing.
Yeah,
so.
Bills, it was a good weekend for me. And then we're going to talk big landscape of college football. Why all the Deion hate? Is it real or not? And why would a Division I coach, that team went out there and played like a bunch of buffoons and undisciplined, call up another coach and over inundate information on for him to beat Deion? Is that kind of like the unwritten rule to do or not to do? Or did you know what I mean? Are you that petty? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff.
Yeah. So we got a lot to cover. It's only 2 hours. Got people looking in here. So We'll be right back. Yeah, okay, I see it. Yeah.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Is this you? You feel the same way every day, and it's not good. You may think there's a magic pill that can fix you. There isn't. Limitless Male has found that the majority of men who admit they feel bad are suffering with low testosterone, which can cause these symptoms: low energy, brain fog, belly fat, muscle loss, low libido. Sound familiar? Get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. Your first consult is free. Insurance accepted.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings. Hot tub season is here, and to celebrate, Bonzal Pool & Spa is having a sale so good that they're offering it up for the whole month. Soak up the savings when you purchase a new High Life Collection or Limelight Collection spa and receive a free step and cover lifter from now through the end of September. Stock will go fast, so hurry in and claim your new spa today and soak up the savings at Bonzal Pool & Spa, 33rd and Highway 2, or at bonzalpool.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, but it's not just